internet has really changed how media is handled for the most part. And that being said, you kind of got up with Cannibal Corpse in '95, right as the internet was really starting to lift off and become a huge thing. And now it's changed the music industry for better or for worse. Do you have any comments on the digital world, YouTube, the internet, legal or illegal downloads, things of that nature?
Well, I've talked black and blue about illegal downloading, and you don't know what it takes. Most of the people doing that don't know what it takes to put out a record, the money that has to be spent to promote albums, to pay for the studio time for the bands. You know what I mean? When we put when the records are put out, what it means for us to actually sell records, and you know what I mean. I mean, we want to make this our life. This is what we want to do for a living, and you got to get paid for that. Everybody has a job. Whether this could be considered, most people go, that's our job. Oh, you're on the bus all day long, and you got fucking naked girls and fucking free beer and whiskey, and just everybody praising you, giving you stuff, and well, not always. This bus is expensive, and we pay for it. We're the ones paying for it. The band is paying for it. In most cases, it's going to be that way. You know what I mean? You know, and so that's just one little thing. That's just touring. That's outside of music and the CDs. But it hurts bands when you're trying to get on certain tours and people see that you haven't sold as many records. They're more wary of bringing you because they don't think you're going to bring an audience. They don't think you're worth bringing out to bring more people. The reason for us to bring some bands out is, okay, these bands mean, one, we want to bring bands that we like and that are good. That's really number one. But a very close second, and maybe could be even number one, is that we want to bring bands that people are going to want to come see too. They've seen us. We know that they're going to come see us, but we want to bring people, bands that we think they're going to like, you know what I mean? And hopefully get some exposure for them bands, and hopefully those bands are going to bring some people that maybe, you know what I mean, aren't into our style of death metal, you know what I mean? Or if we're doing a tour that's more a mixed package, musically, we want to tour bands that, and of course bigger bands, obviously, bigger band than us, there's an obvious reason why we want to do that, But that's a small part about that stuff. We bring, we have the bus. We are doing all this stuff. There's a lot of money changing hands here and there. People don't realize that illegal downloading is killing just the record industry as it is, and it's these people just think that like I said, everything grows on trees, and this is just all a big game. It is a job. It is work, and there is, if we didn't make money doing this, how are we going to feed our kids and pay our bills and things like that? If we were younger and struggling, we'd still be doing it. You know what I mean? And even if we weren't, as long as we could make ends meet, we would still be out here doing it. But if we didn't make ends meet, then the band's gonna, you know what I mean? Or certain people, maybe let's say the band might be over for the band, and that alone is like, I know this maybe doesn't make sense to some people. They're just gonna turn it into what they want. But the bottom line is this: when you illegally download a record, if you intend to buy that album somewhere down the line, then I don't have a problem with that. I want to check them out. Well, you could do that anyway. You can go to anybody's MySpace, YouTube, anything. You can go anywhere. People have songs on there. Just go check it out. You don't have to download the whole damn album. Check them out on YouTube. Check it out. See if you like it. We released 2 songs prior to this album coming out. You could go online and you could check them out and then make your decision if you want to buy it. And some people do that, and then they decide they want to download it. And then, well, everybody's doing it. So, well, if everybody did it, then that's okay. Then, you know what I mean? Like, just because a bunch of people, do, because anyone does one thing doesn't mean that everyone else has to do it.
Right.
I don't know. I've talked black and blue about this. It's just really frustrating. I don't think people really understand what they're doing when they do things like that. When they're downloading music, they're taking money out of people's pockets, and we're not all rich, contrary to popular belief. So downloading sucks, and you're an asshole if you do it. If you do it, you know what I mean, without just constant download everything you have and not care, fuck you. I don't fucking have 2 fucking seconds to talk to you.
Well, we were talking about, like,
there's
YouTube.
Good things with the internet too, though.
Yeah,
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. But like with YouTube now, even they figured out a way to start monetizing the video. So you guys are signed to Metal Blade. Cannibal Corpse has their own YouTube page or whatever else, and for every time that there's a view on there, you guys get a little bit of that money. But now, of course, some kid just went out, ripped off Torture, downloaded it illegally, and then uploads it to his music page, and now he can, in effect, monetize it for himself.
It's really hard to. That's the problem with the internet too. There's no repercussions for anything you do. You're behind a computer in your house, and who's going to trace you? Who's going to catch you? there's not really, it's not that heinous a crime to go spend all the resources and money it's going to take to stop people from pirating the music. There's more important things. Really, there are more important things. It's not putting me on the street. It's not putting any of the guys on the street, but it's hurting. It's hurting the the people that are putting the records out, more than anything. And there are a lot more important things to be tracking down, murderers and rapists and things like that. So, but it's bad. It's not good for the music industry. You can't really honestly tell me you're a fan of music if you think it's okay to just steal people's music and not pay for it. I mean, that's it's wrong. If you work a job and you do that, and I told you were going to have to do it for for less than what you're used to making, and you're going to make less money now, you wouldn't be pretty happy about it, and that's really what's it's cutting into people's profits. I hate to say, because when you talk about profits and money and you're in a band, people just automatically think you're just in this for that's all you're in it for. But it's like, listen, man, I didn't get in a band because I wanted to make millions of dollars. Sure, if we did it, that'd be great, but it was never the agenda. I wanted to be in a band. I just wanted to tour the world. You know what I mean? And then you realize how much of a business it is, and you realize, when you're making money, that it becomes a job. There's a lot of time invested in a lot of different aspects of it. I bet you all the people in there think that we're just all partying right now, and we're watching all the bands, but I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm doing an interview right now. This is part of the work. You know what I mean? It's not hard. I'm not saying this is hard or anything, but it's part of it. When your time is being spent, you know what I mean, doing something that you wouldn't normally be doing, you should be getting paid for it. You know what I mean? Like, as far as if it's anything that has to do with your job, and this is part of the job. And the internet's good for a lot of things too. You can check out any band you want. Almost any band can get their music out to millions of people. And if they're not trying to sell it, just let's get it out there like a demo. Before you had a tape trade, man. You had to send a tape, from California to fucking Maryland. It took you forever, man.
Right.
So it's there's good things about it. It's instantaneous, transfer of music and pictures and whatever you want. It's great, but look, whenever there's anything that's beneficial to man, there are people that will use or abuse it. There are people that will use it for good, and there are people who use it for bad. I think illegal downloading is one of the bad things. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't see how anybody could actually think that it's cool.
Somebody is awesome, somebody is on, with, all together.